incredible burst damage, and we see him on the kill feed continually. In our first map in the best of 7 between GC, Busan, and Flash Wolves for our first quarterfinal match of the day. It's going to be on Nepal. I believe that's how we started it yesterday.
Yeah, with Blake versus MY.
Yeah.
And we got to see Nepal with runaway against GC Busan in the Apex Finals, and we got to see, more importantly, how Hureg plays the Pharah. I'm really curious to see if he's going to be picking it up here yet again, because his Pharah was fantastic, as well as Hagopyeon going to be on the Mercy, most likely to heal him up. Here's a closer, most likely, I don't know, because obviously you have like a Lucian player.
You can still play the Lucian,
You could obviously flex him to like the Zen then, or you can have him go the Mercy and then keep your flex support on a flex support when you do need to move him around. But I think the first map is going to be a true test for Flash Wolves. We're going to see, like, do they have the read of how GC Busan are playing? You know, forget their individual skill. If you can't read into the enemy team's strategy and play accordingly, then you're not going to win a series. So they have all the pieces to the puzzle. Can they put them in the right places? I think we're going to find out here on Nepal.
All right, we are loaded up, and it's going to be Shrine for our first point here on Nepal in this best of 7 set between GC Busan and Flash Wolves. GC Busan, the champions of Apex Season 4. Flash Wolves falling short in the OPC Season 2 to Ardent, I believe, a full Korean squad that was competing in the OPC. So now they want a little bit of redemption there. They want to prove to the rest of the world that they can hang with the Korean squads.
Well, we'll find out here. Looks like Hureg's going to be over on the Tracer initially with Prophet on the Genji, and Zana going to be on McCree. Okay, so Flash Wolves, they have, I think, what they need to deal with Hureg on the Tracer. If Zonda can get in the right position, but can Zonda hit the shots is going to be the question for me. Fake Jack, we already know he's good. We already know he's consistent.
Dive
already rushing straight into them.
Yeah, this is what you need to do. Target out the Mercy first. We saw a lot of teams understanding that concept and able to take advantage of it. So now it's going to be GC Busan taking the point first.
That was clearly something Flash Wolves was not expecting to. I mean, you saw them ignore Zonda completely. He was one of the last people left alive. They ran straight past him and letting him keep do damage, but you know what? He's not going to do enough damage to kill off the entirety of GC Busan. So they focus on the right targets, they dive in appropriately, and Busan's not even running.
They swap off closer. Going to go over to that Lucio now. And so already we're seeing Jongi getting focused down, and he is the linchpin of the team. He is that foundation as the tank, as Zonda was able to bring down Gesture. So they don't have the res, but they do have a blade, instantly taking out K-Momo, but Jongi answers right on back.
You saw he wanted to dive in, but he's actually being prevented with the damage being done. Zonda's going to, unfortunately, not hit that flash trigger. We can say Hureg did dodge out on it. Dada going to be coming through. He has an easy connection onto one, onto Aerial. Instead, he's going to go for Hagopyeon. Yeah, Zonda's going to be focused again.
He gets pressured down all this time. It's still GC Busan that have control of the point. They take out Realment. He was just about to get that Valkyrie. It could be great for them here. It's a 3v2 on the point now, as Hureg will ultimately fall, but still, it's just GC Busan taking up the point.
Well, Singer himself a nice little double kill there, but it just doesn't seem to be enough. It's 60% and ticking is still going on. K-Momo trying to open things up, trying to lock down the point. Both supports for GC Busan have returned. And again, they're just looking to stall out, looking to get as much percent as they possibly can. And if they do somehow pick up some kills, they could go for the maintained hold.
And what I like about this is that they're staggering one by one. One person is just staying on the point to make sure that it stays contested, while the rest just kite back, and they're buying so much time. Take a look, 80% already on the board. This has just been one long continual team fight as both sides have been streaming in. Sound barrier comes out, but already they've lost Aerial now on the side of GC Busan. But is it going to be enough for them? They need to flip this point, and they need to flip it now.
Hureg is struggling here so far. Nice little flashbang from Zonda does catch up closer. And the point will eventually be turned. But GC Busan still playing merciless at the moment. Sound barrier was used as a closer in that fight. And they'll have to come in with pretty much nothing at the moment. All right, so going back to the Mercy. But, you know, also we have to keep in mind that Gesture, he's one of the best Winstons in Korea. He's been talked about so often. But in this kind of meta with the change of Diva, it's very difficult to play Winston appropriately because of how easily you can be bursted down. So he has a big learning curve ahead of him.
There we go.
Zonda, there you go. That's shots you need to see him hit if you want to see Flash Wolves win. Oh, another!
Yeah, as Prophet goes down instantly, the dive comes out from the side of Flash Wolves as they push forward, looking for more straggled kills. He does have the flashbang, but the recall will be used there. Still, now they're just laying Hureg. He hasn't been able to open up like we normally see him do.
Yeah, it seems like GC Busan are playing a little bit slow today. I don't know, I'm just like watching, they're seeming to just warm up a little bit, maybe figure things out. Ariel does get the kill on the Jong again, a little bit overextended. Is the Blade going to come out of Profit, but it immediately gets taken out by Zonda again.
Closer does have that res, but still, you don't want to res that early on into the fight. Now they are trying to focus down the back line. It's going to be Profit coming in, taking out both supports. Now 93% to 60%. They just need to clean up Bacon Jack here. They'll be able to cap the point.
Try to stay alive. He almost has a pulse bomb too. He's got no recall up and 26 HP to fight with. Eventually he will fall, and the point at 94%. Will Flash Wolves have a chance to contest it here? Realman using that Valkyrie to get in on towards the point as quick as he possibly can. It looks like someone has been able to touch it, and Bacon Jack has been res, and he has pulse bomb.
He's got the pulse bomb, but it looks like he got eaten there. Nothing coming of it whatsoever. Zonda now gets jumped on. He's down to almost no HP. He will fall as Realman brings back Jongi, but he needs another res. He needs to bring the DPS back into this. He had the Deadeye, did Zonda, but now the Blade just committed by Profit here to finish off this fight. Now he's out of it, but still the damage is done. GC Busan cleaning up the members of Flash Wolves, having a little difficulty here on Shrine, but they will ultimately cap it out.
So even though GC Busan did win that first point, I'm still enjoying Flash Wolves. So Zonda, he's hitting shots, he's playing well. Spit water all over himself.
Bully, Jason.
You gotta forget about microphones.
You're a bully.
Come on, everyone saw that. But Zonda, he's hitting shots. I think the next step for them is making sure to keep Sinclair and Realman alive. Realman has been focused time and time again by Profit. So if you can keep your backline alive a little bit more, and you let Zonda give him the space he needs to play, I think there's a pretty good chance that Flash Wolves could take a couple maps here.
All right, and so now we've got some swap-offs coming out. So on the side of GC Busan, Hureg is going to swap over to the McCree, and then Profit picks up the Junkrat. The Flash Wolves, they're running a much different composition, especially in their tank line, as they've got an Orisa along with the Roadhog.
Yeah, Orisa's not going to work well against Junkrat. A shield, yeah, it's on a really low cooldown, but Junkrat can burst through it extremely fast, especially when you have Gesture on the Roadhog. Something we've seen a lot now with the recent changes putting Roadhog instead of Winston, but Bacon Jack gets himself a double himself.
Yeah, the spam just coming out from Bacon Jack there. Ariel, as soon as he got D-megged, received some grenades to the face. Bacon Jack ready to challenge up against the Junkrat. You don't get to see that often, but Flash will cap out the point first.
They have a good position to hold here with the Orisa too. You have a Roadhog, so if you can hook someone past the shield, you're almost certainly going to burst them down, because there's no real follow-up. You're only going to have Ariel there with defense victories for a few seconds to keep him alive. A Riptire ready to go for Profit. Riptire's going to come out.
Here comes the Riptire making its way all the way around. Counter Riptire coming in, but GC Busan, they're going to be able to get Sinclair with that. They have the res in place for it now, as Hagopun does get brought back in, and oh no, he accidentally falls into that trap.
Oh no.
Bacon Jack tried to make an escape for himself. Now he's just waiting on the outside. I think they just assumed that he made his way out. There we go, so they just left him alone. But during that, GC Busan were able to flip the point.
Okay, Momo though gets a hook kill on the Gesture, and Tagmeister coming out of Zonda. Defense Switch is not going to block out this one, the Transcendence should be enough. Keep in mind, with the Orisa and the Roadhog together, that's a lot of knockoff potential that you can use. So GC Busan have to respect this one. Turek has responded with his own attack visor to just walk into a trap.
You hear that trap and you just know you're dead. There's nothing you can do, especially in the face of a Junkrat. But still, despite that, they're going to go ahead and res Hurek back into this. So now it's all knotted up. 32% to 29 in favor of GC Busan.
So Jongi got the supercharger ready to go. Bacon Jack's just going to flick with his tire to try to funnel him into a weird position. He can easily jump this crevice here. Oh. And that boy's just past the Roadhog. No, he's not going to kill him, but they use the halt together with the Riptire to get the kill on the Hureg.
They still had the res, and Ariel finds a great self-destruct. Profit just raining down damage from across the chasm here. The whole hog is going to be committed by Gesture.
Another trap
onto Zonda. Man, Flash Wolves starting to lose momentum here.
Yeah, they lost a lot of momentum. Realman again, he's kind of being focused on by Profit. The tank, the lineup they have is just not fast enough to deal with the Junkrat. Obviously, Orisa wants to be very stationary, but Junkrat can spam through that.
It's kind of like playing mech, right? In StarCraft 2, where you have tanks sieging up and you have to slowly move forward. That's what you got to do with this Orisa, but the shields just get bursted down so quickly. Look, she already has like 4 seconds left on that cooldown. Now there we go, Riptire comes in. Bacon Jack will deal with that, but still, that means they were able to delay. It's at 90% now for GC Busan. And Flash Wolves, they have to make a move, and they have to make it now as the Transcendence comes out on the side of GC Busan. It's going to be Prophet picking up a triple kill, taking out the support in Realment, and that's just going to be GC Busan. They do give up the point for now, but still, it's a simple matter of cleaning up, and with that, they will take a 2-0 victory here on Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, Flash Wolves, you saw, they used the shield to inch further and further across, but again, when you have a Roadhog and you have a Junkrat, these two Bashing brothers, no shield is going to survive against that, and the ground that you did take is going to be completely taken away from you. That's why the D.Va was picked up here out of GC Busan. You can mitigate a lot of damage, allowing your team to get out without having to worry about a shield, and then you can set up positioning. Obviously, you can mitigate Junkrat a hell of a lot too, and the damage that he can do if you eat up his grenades or his concussive mines.
And you saw there, like, that shield, it was up for all of 2 seconds. How long is D.Va's defense matrix? Like 2 seconds.
I feel like 4 if I'm playing against it.
Well, yeah, when she's in your face and she's eating up your entire tactical visor, it feels like an eternity.
But it's just, yeah, I mean, that's just the difference. And I mean, Flash Wolves, they had a plan coming into it. I like to see that they did their prep and they did have something they wanted to use, but it didn't work out. So now it's on to them to adapt coming into this next map, which, I mean, they're going to have the choice of, so that works out in favor of them.
One of the scary parts is that Prophet is normally the Tracer player for this team, for GC Busan, and it was Hurek that was playing it earlier on. But we'll get to that point later after this break, guys. Map number 2, the Apex Premier, GC Busan versus Flash Wolves, right after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Western 侦测到入侵者。
好了，阿菲娜。
我带领守望先锋奋战了20年，人们曾经视我为英雄，那真是一段美好的日子，美好而短暂。
人们认为没有我们，他们的生活会更好，他们甚至把我们当作罪犯。
你为什么要这么做？
他们摧毁了我们这个大家庭。
风云再度变幻，是时候做出选择了。
但是你们看看，现在必须有人站出来，我们必须站出来。
找到什么了？又来捣蛋了吗，亲爱的？
没那么容易。
我们可以再次改变这个世界，这个世界比以往更加需要我们。你们来不来？
Hey, man, don't give up. Let's get patched up. Max healing boost. We move together as one. Oh, feel that healing beat.
And the MVP for map number 1 on Nepal between GC Busan and Flash Wolves, it is going to be this man, Prophet, on that Junkrat, just laying siege to the entirety of Flash Wolves when we moved on to Sanctum.
He did some serious work. And one of the things I think Bacon Jack, and I guess well, not him in particular, like kind of had to struggle with is, you really want known for one hero, but you need to show you can play quite a few different if you really want to catch people off guard, and also just show you're really deep in terms of your pool and your skill. But Prophet, like showing his Junkrat was fantastic. His Rip Tires, in this case, was able to trade 1-for-1 with Zen's. But his zone control, his team know how to play well around, or played really well around it.
Yep.
So clearly this is something they practiced before, and they're looking good. Looking like they haven't really, missed a beat so far. Yeah.
Well, again, like we mentioned, on Saturday, they played that 7-map set up against Runaway. It had to be an exhausting affair, especially like you're just going into map number 7. That's championship rounds. Like, that's nuts. And then instantly, 3-4 hours later, you barely get to celebrate your victory before you have to prep for another tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but it shows the true test of the team, right? That you're willing to win a tournament like that and then put all your hard work back into another one instead of relaxing and, maybe enjoying that victory. I would assume if they pick up this, entire tournament victory, it's going to be one hell of a party for them waiting for them back home.
Just Busan, the entire city comes out to support them.
Yeah, like a nice little parade, like when someone wins the Super Bowl in the U.S.
No, that was the thing. We were talking to them, and they are directly supported by the city of GC Busan. They offer them, I believe, like tax breaks and stuff at their offices. It's really cool to see that these cities are aligning themselves with Overwatch League and like Overwatch teams.
Do you think they name a street after some of the players? Like assume like 5 years from now they're still playing. Yeah.
Hurek Boulevard.
Wouldn't that be sick?
That would be pretty sick.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Either way, these guys have really proven that they deserve to be, at the top echelons of Overwatch. And, considering how much raw talent there still is to be discovered on the ladder, well, I can't wait to see how different rosters are, a year from now. Hell, 6 months from now.
6 months from now, yeah. Well, the contracts are locked for a year. I don't know if they're like buyout stipulations or anything.
I mean, I'm assuming you can like pick up new talent, or like if you have scouts, like in traditional sports, you have these talent scouts that go out to like high school games and to go like to like minors and stuff like that to go watch players. I wonder if there's people like that for the ladder to see like who they potentially want to pick up that's unknown.
That's me. I'm keeping an eye on everyone, so you should be trying in every single match you get with me. Wait, by the way, guys.
Are you on the Boston Overwatch League team as well? And I just didn't know.
Gamsu. Here it comes. Yeah. No. There we go. It's gonna be Watch Point Gibraltar. The first time, actually, as we move on to Gibraltar this entire tournament. We haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited for this. The thing was, in OWPS, we saw lots of interesting strats coming out on Gibraltar, even though we didn't see it often. I want to say it was Lucky Future who had that Sombra defense and Car Wash.
Oh, God.
Right? Do you remember that?
Oh, that tilted me so bad when teams didn't know how to like counter that.
Anna. That was the answer to it.
Or a self-destruct behind them.
Self-destruct, yeah.
So simple. I don't know. Well, yeah, we got to see then Lucky Future just demolish the other team when they tried it. But one of the few maps we're probably going to see Widowmaker on. One of the few maps that Widowmaker really excels on that first point, but also one of the few maps we get to see on the first point, potentially healing because of that range you can't play with. Looks like Huregs will be on the Widow to start things off here for GC Busan. And Jongi going to be back on Orisa. I know it's a hero he's been practicing quite a bit, and maybe it's just going to be for like the first point hold, but you have to switch to Winston for second because you need that mobility, you need that high ground control.
Who else is going to deal with him other than possibly K-Momo? K-Momo can burst down the Widowmaker with the micro missiles and the melee and the damage from the rockets, but still, just trying to rely upon your D.Va to deal with him, not the safest bet. Oh! Bacon Jack just runs right into that shot. Hurek didn't even have to flick. He just had his crosshair there, and he ran right into that.
See the future, knew exactly where Bacon Jack was going to be. I mean, there's no one at all to really counter him. It was Bacon Jack, and VJ is going to have to give a lot of respect to this guy, too, because there's only like one guy pushing the payload at sometimes, and the rest of them are just kind of sitting back, making sure to protect him closer, just sticking to him on the Mercy.
Yeah, this composition, like even though they have the Widowmaker, you have to note that, well, Gesture, he's on the Soldier 76. He can also help deal with that, and it's going to be Prophet that got into the back line with the help of Aerial to clean up the members of Flash Wolves, and with almost no resistance to take first and move on to Hangar 18.
So Hurek did like nothing in terms of like damage and kills there, really. He didn't do that much, but
He tagged Mercy.
But him being on Widow, like the pressure of that, you saw Flash was immediately respecting that. And again, they didn't have like a shield to hide behind that was mobile. You didn't have like a Reinhardt to just move out and push into them. So they were constantly pushed back the entire time, and Prophet was able to get some quick, easy kills with the pulse bomb. Really tough. I mean, Flash Wolves have to adapt.
Yeah, Jongi is going to go down, and so I don't think Realman really wants to go in for that res. They can just wait it out for the Winston to get back into this, but it's still Prophet. Got into the back line. Zonda has gone down now, forcing out the res. Coming out for Realman here. Bacon Jack is trying to chase down. It's going to be the pulse bomb that comes in. Gesture falls.
You see Dooley Transcendence is here. Prophet's still alive. They're looking for another pulse bomb, and Zonda's able to take down his counterpart of Gesture, who has switched, well, from the Winston player normally over to Soldier, and they put Hurag over on the Roadhog. So they still have the double tank, but switching their comps a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to go for the triple take now as Gesture just off that Soldier 76. They're going to rely upon both Aerial and Gesture to try and contest the high ground that Zonda has right now, as Hureg will help them win out the floor, the ground battle with that Roadhog. Now, we do have the Valkyrie out, but there's the tactical visor. Zonda on the hunt for that Mercy, but it's going to be Prophet who goes down. Realman gets the res back onto Jongi. It's a man advantage on the side of Flash Wolves as they force back GC Busan.
And Coaster's been playing really safe this entire match so far, and the only way they were able to kill him was because Zonda dropped behind them with attack visor pretty much by himself, and then luckily for them, Sinclair was able to clean that kill up. You can't depend on something like that every time to kill their back line. So Flash Wolves, I mean, a team who, what, Season 1, you did have Zonda running Genji, and Bacon Jack on Tracer, they have the dive potential. They switched that up, though, coming into Season 2. They don't have the potential to really dive much anymore.
A lot of changes once again coming out from the side of GC Busan as Hureg has now gone back to that Tracer. Prophet picking up the Genji. So now, with those frags, they're starting to burn away at the clock of GC Busan on the side of Flash Wolves. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to get through the second phase of Gibraltar.
And luckily for Flash Wolves, like this area, they can use Zonda to like maximum effectiveness. Soldier's so good on the second part when you can hold higher ground, when you have your tanks there to protect you. And GC Busan have struggled to really deal with them. You did see, you know, a kill out of Prophet onto Zonda, but he gets rezzed immediately for a second chance.
Yeah, now they are getting traced back and forth, but it's Bacon Jack on this Tracer. This is the man we said he had to look out for. As Prophet was able to hunt down Realman here, so they're not going to have the res on the side of Flash Wolves for another 10 seconds or so. The self-destruct is going to be committed here. Bacon Jack dodges out with that recall, but they know exactly where he spawns. Hunt him down, and he will fall. GC Busan forcing back the defense.
A smart change out of them too. Closer switches off the Mercy, switches to Lucio. So they have the mobility, they have the dive comp back again, and they've been able to close the distance between them and Zonda, most importantly. Going to be coming back here with the Transcendence, though. Flash Wolves have a lot of people alive, and Hureg, though, has a pulse bomb ready to throw out.
Hagapun answers in kind with his own as the Dragon Blade does come out. It's going to be Hureg and Prophet coming up with a kill each here. Flash Wolves not able to do anything at all up against this offense now. They did delay them just a bit, but still 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock. Three delayed kills here. They have to try and make their way off the ledge, but they're feeding ultimate charge on over as Prophet now at 20%. So we hear the gong for the second time in less than 5 seconds.
Well, now Flash Wolves, again, another good point for Soldier. The only downside is that Genji, D.Va, Winston, and Tracer can all come from this position and really punish the backline, immediately focus on Sinclair. We're going to take that Zen out of the fight, not give him any sort of chance for Transcendence, to buy time for Prophet to get another Blade up, so he'll have that easy advantage in a fight.
They're able to kite away from that. It looked like there was a little bit of a disconnect coming out from the dive. Generally, you want your Genji and your Winston to dive onto the same target, but yeah, Prophet kind of lost track of that Zen. From there, they were able to kite away on the side of Flash Wolves and then re-engage upon them. Now here comes a self-destruct. It's not going to catch anyone. Aerial will get his mech back as the fight continues.
I think something that GC Busan does really well, and I noticed this a lot during the Game vs. Runaway when they were dealing with Hawksaw. They ran a Sombra, but they were very smart about the EMPs. Instead of engaging with them, a lot of the times they would save it for when Hawksaw would go in, knowing that was like the linchpin for Runaway to win fights. And they're very good at controlling like a single person. So there, you saw them dive in, looking for Cinco to stop his ult build-up, to stop the Transcendence, so Prophet will have an ult lead, which he does now have, to win another fight.
High ground, it's the tactical visor coming out from Zonda, and he'll connect. Hagapun goes down, and once again, GC Busan, they're not running a Mercy. So even though they got that pulse bomb kill, it's gonna be the man advantage for Flash Wolves here. They're even gonna get this delayed kill onto the D.Va.
So like without a Mercy on like Escort and your hybrids, when you get into that final push, that final point, it basically turns into Assault, like second point, where if you lose one guy and you don't have a Mercy, it's over. So the Mercy is definitely going to be something I think they have to switch to, and you have seen Closer switch from the Lucio over to Mercy. I think that was already their plan. That's why they used the Sound Barrier, like, alright, you might as well use this ultimate, see what we can get, and then switch to Mercy after. So Busan have a good read on how this game's already going.
They have a good read, but it's going to be a great ultimate advantage inside of Flash Wolves here. They have 4 up. Bacon Jack's about to have his pulse bomb, but the blade now in the back line transcendence through it as they are able to res Zonda back into this. Prophet not able to get much off of it now. The payload being contested by the side of Flash Wolves here as the Primal Rage can get used by both Winstons.
Realman being forced to use his Valkyrie too. He's not res stuck. He said most importantly just stay alive. As Zonda gets a nice kill into Aerial before he gets the resuit back off. Zonda's done that so many times of hitting Helix rockets like in the air when the self-destruct gets thrown out. Just completely prevent any sort of reback.
This is the form, more or less, that Flash Wolves are comfortable with. This is what got them through basically the regular season of OPC Season 2. Their Tracer and their Soldier 76 play. So they're just going back to comfort here as we have some swap-offs coming out on the side of, GC Busan. Hurag now going over back to this Widowmaker.
Really ballsy to do this, considering what stage of the game we're in. There's 12 seconds left to go. Zonda can use the attack price to zone them away. Maybe a little bit preemptive out of him, but they should be able to contest this. They should be able to touch it, and we're going to have a second fight. But Sinclair already has another Transcendence ready to go. Hagafun's going to be able to match it, though.
It's still going to be an 8v7 as Closer. He's got that Valkyrie. Realman uses his first res, bringing Zonda back into this. Now we do have the Transcendence out from both sides here. The self-destruct comes out, not going to connect onto anyone, but Gesture was able to take out Realman, who did have the res ready.
And that's going to be Bacon Jack taking out Hurag, Sinclair taking out Prophet. So the damage dealers are now gone. Even the res being thrown back in won't stop him from dying another time. And Flash Wolves, they're going to hold this third point.
Yeah, barring any sort of miracle here, this fight should be over shortly. Self-destruct doesn't get anything for the side of GC Busan. And with that, Flash Wolves will put a stop to GC Busan, but you know, this is kind of what I expected when we move on to something like Escort here, where that Mercy play really does come into effect, especially because of how you can play that high ground Soldier 76. It gives that Mercy an extra out that Realman can really take advantage of.
I think that's going to be like a big difference for, for GC Busan to run away as we, move into this match and move into like the semifinals, is how their Mercies can really play. I want to give credit though to Zonda towards the end. He got a Helix rocket kill into Aerial when when he was in the air falling back down. He got another kill into Aerial after that next self-destruct. Puts a lot of focus on killing D.Va when she's been desuited or when she used the self-destruct. Because obviously when you use that ultimate as a D.Va player, you assume, all right, I'm going to reback. Like, I'm going to get in a position to reback. But Zonda, with a lot of focus on that, prevents that and takes that safety away from a D.Va player from GC Busan. So Aerial's going to have to adapt to that a little bit more. Maybe put himself in a better position before he D-max, or run away a little bit further to, out line of sight him. Zonda's had his number there for the most part.
Now, we're swapping sides here. Remember, GC Busan currently leading the series 1-0 in this best-of-7 quarterfinal match. Flash Wolves trying to put their first map on the board. Really turn the screws onto GC Busan. On the defense, we're seeing them go back once again to that Tracer Genji, but this time Hagopun, he's going to be on the Ana, and we got to see what he got to do on the Ana before in the Runaway match on Saturday. His sleep darts, his accuracy with them, along with just his timings on the Biotic Nade, just nasty.
Zonda's going to have an opportunity, though, I think, to deal with him. I don't know where Hagopun's going to hold. Just off the top of my head, you would assume high ground, but with no Soldier there, he's probably going to play more towards server side if they want to hold that position. But Zonda can easily shut him down, but I mean, I love the Ana Mercy combo. The amp healing you can do, Ana can keep the team alive relatively well. The Bio Grenade, if you can hit them on your own team, is amazing. And plus, you can completely mitigate multiple ultimates with your Sleep Dart or with that Bio Grenade for Sinclair.
All right, Zonda now positioning himself on the globe. Is going to be forced back here, but it's okay. Widowmaker, remember, you do have that buffed grappling hook, so the mobility is just nuts on this hero.
8-second cooldown on it. Not to mention the Venom Mine gives you the sight too, and they're missing the jumps, but they've been forcing it back and he falls. there must have been no healing towards him because he just gets nothing and gets completely wiped out.
Yeah, Realman was dropped low by some poke, and so he had to get out of dodge. And there we do have the res coming on back, but Closer will bring Gesture into this. It's going to be a 6v5. Make that a 5v5 as Realman has fallen here. Pulse Bomb doesn't connect from Bacon Jack. It's going to be Hagopun. Now, dishing out the damage with the Ana.
We've got Battle Mercy, but we got Battle Ana here for Hagopun. He ran straight into the fire, straight into that chaos that was in that tiny room, and like throws a Bio Grenade down. Keeps someone alive, anti-heals them. Really good to do. And he almost has a nano too. So Prophet, most likely going to be the recipient of this, unless they're going to throw it to Gesture to get some sort of control. Because the payload has been halted.
Yeah, it's rolling back through car wash right now. Zonda is going for that high ground, but he has to be careful. Both supports are there to get him back into full. Turek has to back away. The dive coming out from Winston just a little bit late to catch out that Tracer player, but now it's going to be the re-engage coming out from the defense as GC Busan pushes forward. Zonda has gone down closer. He does have, Realman, he does have that res. He doesn't have the Valkyrie quite yet, though. The self-destruct doesn't connect onto anyone. But now, they're on the hunt. It's going to be Winston going down.
Yeah, but Closer has Valkyrie. He's the rest of the Gesture either way. Nano has come down on a Prophet. The Nano Blade's going to be used, but what is he going to get off this?
Well, he's getting focused down. He's at 40 HP, but he still has that Mercy there. He forces out the Primal Rage from Jongi. Nothing going over quite yet, but Bacon Jack lands a great two-man pulse bomb. He even gets the D-Mech, forces out the res, but there's not going to be a second one coming out from Closer anytime soon. And Flash Wolves might have just broken this defense.
I'm pretty sure they have done it. Closer. There's just no way he's able to get back in to really do much in terms of his res. It's been cleaned up by Bacon Jack, and Flash Wolves with a very explosive fight off of the entry frag of Bacon Jack, hitting a double kill with this pulse bomb. Who captured first him. Still a lot of distance to go, but some good signs out of them. And you saw Closer's focus. We were wondering, you know, what are Mercy's going to res? Because that's going to kind of tell what their game plan is. He res Gesture twice. He could have res 2 res one of those times, but instead he just keeps his tanks alive, and tanks can obviously do a little bit more than like a Tracer, like a squishy DPS. So looking for stall, looking to buy a lot of time in that first and second phase.
The high ground being consistently contested by the side of Flash Wolves. They're going to go ahead and get the D-Mech now onto Aerial, the focus fire onto Closer as he tries to get out. Danger's out of harm's way. He will make it out. We have some battles going on between these Divas and Tracers. There it is. Zonda pushes forward. He's got the tactical visor. Deflect was in his face, but just for a short moment now. Payload being contested. Those baby Diva there, Aerial, ultimately falls.
GC Busan, they're going to have a Nano again. I was expecting them to switch like over to a Zenyatta in the second phase, but they're going to have a Nano Blade. So a lot of pressure on to Prophet, and also Hagopun for landing a Bio Grenade, because Cinco's going to have again his own Transcendence to stop this.
They are able to make it in. Here is the Nano Blade coming out from Prophet, but there's a Transcendence. Doesn't matter, you're able to burst through it with that Nano. 3 kills goes over for Prophet here. He might just get a 4th, tries to finish it off. It's going to be Hagopun. Take out Jongi, forcing back the offense.
I think he's on to use his Tac Visor in that fight too. The Prophet was able to kill him quick enough, or he could really do much on that one. So they get 2 ultimates baited out of Flash Wolves, with 2 used themselves, and they bought time for Closer now to build up towards his own Valkyrie, which he needed to match Realman. Did Hagopun just... Oh no, he switched to Zen. I thought he just like fat fingered his ultimate there, but he switched from Ana to Zen now.
All right, there's the dive coming out inside of GC Busan. I like this because they did just swap off. They tried to fight into the 6v5 and caught them off guard here. 2 kills already going on over as the Primal Rage was committed. Gesture has fallen, but Prophet now just sitting by their spawn. Bacon Jack thought he was safe, but you're never really safe when Prophet's on the field.
Minute 40 left to go for Flash Wolves. They used their big ultimate. They used the Valkyrie in that fight, even while being dove on. I was expecting them to maybe hold on to that ultimate, because now Prophet's build up another blade. They're not going to have Transcendence with Cinco only having 50% on his ultimate. And ideally, you're going to see GC Busan hold another fight unless Prophet somehow gets picked off.
Takes to the skies, and now there is the blade. Prophet dropped low. They're going to zone him out with that self-destruct. Prophet peaks too early. Will fall. Does Closer go for it. He does get the res off onto Prophet, but there's the tactical visor. Most of it getting eaten up by that deflect, though. There we go. There's going to be Zonda with the help of Gesture to take him out, but Bacon Jack is answered back. Great self-destruct comes out from Aerial, taking out Realman. So now the defense is trying to swing this back in their favor, but still, Zonda's still alive. They're pushing forward now. The Soldier 76 just getting unmitigated damage. Finally, he will fall.
Yeah, they're still killing the back line, though. GC Busan, a lot of focus again onto Sinclair. They take him out of the game so often. Even Realman there, dying to that self-destruct. Now, talk about Profit, like this should be a fight that they win. Well, I mean, it should be a fight you win, unless you, I guess, you jump back into a self-destruct and die.
Yeah.
But luckily the res was there, and he was able to still get some decent damage in. The Flash Wolves, they have Valkyrie advantage. They will have Transcendence as well, so double supports compared to just the solo. And Jongi has the ability to stall with his own Primal Rage. BaconJack actually might just look to push as he did this in the group stage as well.
That was a great boop coming out.
Still pushing.
Yeah.
No one's contesting. Is he going to do it a second
right
time?
Now? Is he really going to get the back door?
My.
They finally do back away. That does draw the forces away. Now closer, dropping low. He does have that extra health coming back, but no, he will ultimately fall. And we saw this happen before. We saw this happen so many times during the OWPS where teams take their eye off the prize. We have teams just getting the back door in, forcing the defense to come back, and then they get punished.
Just say it. You know what to say it.
Flash 9?
No, GC9. GC9.
GC9.
Yeah, that was...
That's actually coming just too true.
Yeah.
As the rumors of them getting picked up by
Yeah?
Cloud9 Kong.
I mean, if they're going to join the org, right, you got to have like an honorary C9.
Trial by fire. There we go. BaconJack gets the first kill. Hureg is gone now as Prophet tries to hunt down Realman. He will ultimately fall as Gesture commits in with that Primal Rage. Now, defense, they've got to be careful. They put themselves in a vulnerable spot here like they did last time. But it's okay. Hureg is still here. He gets topped off. And they'll force back the offense.
Jeez, but I don't know what it is about BaconJack. He's just such a smart player. Like, taking advantage of, like, situations. Again, like we said before, that wasn't the first time he almost solo pushed the payload. Or, well, the first time he did solo push it, but this time he got so close. And just the threat of that with the 1 meter left. GC Busan had to back away. Prophet going in with another blade, though. Sinclair is going to fall another time. And now there's 18 seconds left for somehow for Flash Wolves with not a lot of ultimates to use just yet to somehow get this payload across the line.
They do have a trance, but look, Prophet is just ready to run interference here with this Genji. He's just waiting for them to come out now. Gonna get some free poke off. He's spotting out where the supports are, as K-Momo is gonna be the first one to be bursted down. Transcendence now out from Hagopun as counter trance comes out, but they've already lost 2 members. It's gonna be Zonda, but swapped off onto the McCree that gets the res. They've got the Valkyrie, second res comes out. It's gonna bring back K-Momo, who does get the mech back on in. Self-destruct out from Aerial though, will catch on to Sinclair as Prophet is continually in this back line. Payload getting pushed forward now, but they're losing members are the offense.
Well, let's see if GC Busan can hold on here. If somehow Flash Wolves can come back. Jongi, the Primal Rage is taken away, eventually going back into his normal form, but Jester's going to have his own Primal Rage, and the kill feed is still going to be all red, as GC Busan should be able to maintain this and pick up their second map victory in the series. Jamerson, GC Busan, I mean, yeah, there's a couple of like questionable moments here or there, but looking damn good on this new patch, on these new changes.
Yeah, we're seeing closer for the most part. You know, he seems to understand the movements of the new Mercy when he gets the Valkyrie up. He's keeping himself safe for the most part. There were moments where he went for very questionable reses, like when Prophet fell to that self-destruct.
Yeah, he died for that too.
Yeah.
I like Gesture actually a lot.
Yeah.
Because playing Winston with the D.Va changes is so difficult to do, but he's still somehow splitting teams in half really well. The way he jumps in and the way he's landing in a team and cuts off like the supports from the front line, or vice versa, they cut off the supports, is phenomenal. And you're seeing GC Busan put so much focus on Sinclair, on the Zenyatta. They know their win condition. It's make sure Prophet can use his blade. If you keep pushing and you keep killing Zenyatta, there's never going to be a Transcendence there to stop your own blade, and that's how they're getting control. Flash Wolves need to somehow keep their backline alive.
Need to somehow keep their backline alive, but I mean, this is just a tactical dive coming out from GC Busan time and time again, winning out these team fights. We'll see if Flash Wolves make any adjustments here on map number 3 after this break.
在过去的几年间，游戏市场发展迅猛，游戏已成为互联网娱乐应用的典型代表。京东将以整合者、升级者的角色，致力于游戏行业的繁荣与突破。未来，京东将与合作伙伴一道，共同掀开崭新的玩家时代。
听好了，镇上的扎克们，我知道你们很辛苦，想要在这片废土上活下去。但是面对现实吧，世界末日说来就来，过去的日子只是一场梦，是时候了，该清醒了。他们以为可以把我们的土地送给那帮机器，他们错了，我们赢了。这一切现在属于我们，我们在废墟里建起了这个新家园。到废料场来吧。没有规矩，没有同情，这里强者为王。我是你们的女王，欢迎见证末日。欢迎来到扎克镇。
Let the games begin.
其实我们有预测到他们有可能会选我们，所以我们有提前在做准备。他们的 T 位跟 C 位的配合非常的强，那其他位置也没有太多的弱点可以针对，那我们还是会全力以赴的。
플래시 울브즈는 대만에서 2등 정도 하는 팀이라는 것만 알아요. 그리고 존다 선수가 이제 유명한 스트리머라는 건 밖에 모르고 그냥 오늘 경기는 이길 자신 있습니다.
There you have it. You heard from Flash Wolves. They don't know what kind of weaknesses there are for them to exploit on the side of GC Busan, but they're going to try their best, and it's this man, Gesture. Started off on the Soldier 76 on the attack, swapped off onto the Winston, as he normally does, play that character, and he did a fantastic job with it. What I was really impressed with was his Primal Rage play. It was very rarely like a moment of panic where he had to use it to keep himself alive. There was very coordinated in how he wanted to use that Primal Rage.
Well, again, that goes back to like him learning how to play with the diva changes, because obviously he doesn't have the protection from his own diva, from Aerial, and he has to respect the amount of damage that an enemy diva can do. So to kind of put yourself in a good position so you don't have to overcommit your ultimate or not use it too soon or too late is definitely very hard to find nowadays. And also, I mean, the Soldier play out of him wasn't bad, and we got to see him playing, a different hero instead of just sitting there on the Winston the whole time. Again, we got to see them adapt a little bit, and then they ran triple tank for a little bit with Ureg over on the Roadhog.
That's kind of what we've been seeing, right? There's been a lot of different kinds of triples coming out from teams. Triple tank, triple DPS.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll get
triple support.
Not triple support, but triple defense.
I think we've had that at one game.
Junkrat. There was
May.
No.
Bastion.
Well, the May just is set up, but there was a Junkrat Torbjorn, but I'm not sure if we had a third defensive hero. Close. We were close.
We need a Symmetra. We need a hero that can move people besides Mei. Like, I can grab you and pull you to me, like, kind of like Roadhog, but like a friendly Roadhog. Okay. Because then I would have so much fun playing rings.
What if there was a talent tree in Overwatch?
A what?
A talent tree.
Oh, you could like choose.
Yeah.
Like it makes the hook do 50% more damage, or you can hook your friendlies.
Yeah.
No one would ever choose hook your friendly because you accidentally hooking them when you're trying to hook someone else.
Yeah.
Is that Doraemon?
That is Doraemon, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've learned. Apparently, you can pull anything out of that pocket. But can he tell me why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Well, I thought you were going to segue into that allow Flash Wolves to find a way to defeat GC Busan.
But that was GC Busan who had
It was.
I liked mine better. But now, going into the next map, again, Flash Wolves' choice. And this is the downside to being down in the series. I mean, it's the upside and the downside, right? The upside is you get to choose a map. The downside is when you do start to win and you're trying to come back and trying to run it back to a victory, you have to play on all the maps that they're good on. So already Flash Wolves is going to be in a really rough position here. There's been some good signs of life, but they have to adapt again. Their back line, Sinclair, has been punished so many times that they need to keep him alive somehow. Maybe switch to Lucio again, maybe pull off the Mercy.
We saw it on Nepal when in the opening fight, the dive came out. Sinclair on the Mercy was the first one to go down. And we saw there also on Gibraltar, most of these fights, the dive was coming out. It was going to go onto Sinclair every single time. Yeah. They need to do something to just keep this man alive, but the dive, the coordination coming up from GC Busan is unmatched.
And there's been no one to answer Prophet on the Genji either, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because A, Sinclair doesn't have Transcendences up as quick as he needs to, because obviously he's being punished. But Zonda has switched like off the McCree. So there's not a lot of pressure towards Prophet to prevent him. I imagine you saying, hey, to prevent him from just sitting like on top of the shuttle in hangar, waiting for them to come out of spawn. Like there's nothing to stop him in the middle of a Dragon Blade bar self-destruct that he runs into. So Flash Wolves need to respond to the pressure that GC Busan are putting on them.
And the thing is, every time that Flash Wolves try to dive upon GC Busan themselves, they have an answer for every actual aspect of it. The Winston jumps in, and then K-Momo will just go ahead and use his boosters to make sure that he can't actually jump onto the high ground, forces him onto the low ground, and then anytime someone tries to get into the back lane, well, you're still dealing with Hureg and Prophet, who are just some of the best DPS in the world.
That's the problem. Flash Wolves is never going to win in a dive contest because, well, they're not running Genji. Like, you're diving with a Tracer, a Winston, a D.Va, and they're diving with a Tracer, a Genji, a Winston, a D.Va. That's just simple numbers tells me that GC Busan's going to win that fight 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, in this newest iteration of like the meta, right? Zenyatas have become kind of just like fodder. If we lose our Zenyatta, it's fine. You're going to lose the rest of your team for it, though. And so that's like one of the things that like GC Busan does so well, that Zhangyi can, or excuse me, why am I blanking on this? Hagopun can keep himself alive. He can delay for a really long time. His sleep darts are so deadly. He buys so much time for the rest of his team to win out the fight while he's still receiving a lot of focus.
So like a part of his success hasn't even been from him.
Yeah.
It's because his team's diving so well and so aggressively that you can't counter dive that. Because again, you're down in numbers and you have to protect your own back line if you're Flash Wolves. So like kind of his success to stay alive is due to his team's pressure that they're applying, and they're creating so much space for him that, well, without a Lucio, you're never going to close that gap. So I don't know. I still think that Lucio is such a strong hero to pick. If you run it and the other team's running dive and they don't have a Lucio, then it's like, all right, you boop and you speed boost away. And their dive is completely mitigated, and now you have people overextended that you can kill.
All right. Apologies about the delay here. There might be a substitution, and we know that Wuhal is sitting on the bench, but we don't know if he's being brought in.
I think there was
some technical error.
I think they thought there was like something in the Doraemon. They're like, but no.
Security's pretty tight here.
Yeah.
At the venue.
Yeah. So. Was that day one we were told like you can't drink any water when you're casting. You're not allowed to have water inside. And we're like, wait, what? So do you want us to die? But no, that's all behind us now, and we're going to Numbani, Jamerson.
Numbani. We've seen it before. We've seen the Torbrissa come out on this map for defense. We'll see if that comes to fruition.
Runaway versus MVP space, right? Yesterday.
There was a lot of Torbrissa yesterday, actually, from that match. Well, it happened on Hollywood, on Numbani,
Temple of Anubis.
On Temple of Anubis.
It was good to see.
No, it was great. I like
seeing
how it's
Hansel
being used.
on Torbjorn.
Hansel as the Torbjorn, but also just the utilization of the Orisa, you know, body blocking the turret. So even if a dive comes out, you need AoE to really try and deal with it. If you don't have that, well, the only way you can damage the turret is to connect with the Winston jump or like the dash coming out from a Genji.
And we even saw, I think it was Runaway struggle against MVP Space to
On
dislodge the Torbrissa on high ground on first point defense when they were attacking. So, yeah, there's definitely some struggles for teams who haven't really been able to deal with it. But look at this. Zen Lucio.
Yeah. This is just going to be an all-out dive now. GC Busan, it looks like they were expecting this Torbrissa, so they're going to go ahead and push in from the low ground while most of the damage dealers are still over at main. They are scouting this out, and Hagopun gets the first kill, taking out Bacon Jack. Is Realman anywhere near him, though, to get that res? Or will they have the 6v5 advantage on the side of GC Busan?
Yeah, they shouldn't go for that res. I believe Prophet was over there. Yeah, you can see him on the left-hand side of the Genji to protect that body if he ever did go in. And our Prophet's going for the flank. The dive is being set up. Closer has switched over to Mercy, though, instead of Lucio now. So he can dive in to help him out with healing, too.
But they instantly get the D-Mech onto Aerial. Gesture, in the meantime, takes down Jongi. The res. Committed onto Sinclair here. Not even close to his turret. It just got taken down as Gesture is going to be able to get the D-Mech onto K-Momo.
You see Prophet. He's trying to just apply pressure to Zonda. Obviously, he's not going to be able to kill him, or he shouldn't be able to kill him. Hello? Realman doesn't get the healing onto Zonda, trying to heal someone on the low ground with K-Momo so he can get a remake back in, but that doesn't work out. GC Busan, a little bit of a slower take because they took their time. They wanted to send Kozer over to Mercy, but they take it in the first try.
Yeah, no, they were methodically picking it apart. You saw in the opening of this fight that Sinclair, he was just spamming away at the Orisa shield, forcing out the cooldown, and then from there, as soon as the second shield went down, that's when GC Busan pulled the trigger. Prophet caught a little bit off guard as he was trying to get anyone in the front line, but yeah, they're going to be able to get him back into this next fight as just going to fall back just a little bit on the side of Flash Wolf. Zonda standing in the front line here has to be careful.
Yeah, he's not afraid to play up here, but he kind of should be at some points. Yeah, Prophet was dead, but with how good GC Busan have been executing these dives, you have to respect it. But then again, they're not going to be diving at the moment because they have Gesture on the Soldier who has attack visor. Blade going to come in, the flashbang to the land, but it doesn't matter. Prophet dashes straight through him and splits him in half.
Yeah, there's a self-destruct now out from Aerial here as Gesture pushes forward with that tactical visor, forcing out the self-destruct on the side of Flash Wolves. K-Momo will get his neck back here, but it's the payload that's continually pushing forward. Closer and Realman both going to commit their Valkyries into this. They've got the double reses ready if they want to use them. D-Mech once again onto K-Momo.
Gesture has some really good tracking on Soldier. You don't typically see that from Winston players. So Soldier player, right? Because tracking is something you never need as a Winston. But they get the second point. No real contest coming in for Flash Wolves, and GC Busan with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left look to close out this first half.
Yeah, that was the other issue, right? They started off with the Torbjorn and Orisa. That was Sinclair on the Torbjorn, Jongi on the Orisa. So when they had to swap, their ultimates get reset there. And once they move into second phase, it's going to be an easy snowball when GC Busan have 5 ultimates to use.
Oh, so now the goal for GC Busan is to kill Sinclair or force out the Transcendence. And Flash Wolves, their goal should be to keep this man alive. They know that Prophet's going to have a blade soon, and you need to be able to match that with your Trans, especially when there's no down on the other side, where you could potentially burst someone down. But Hurug's been so annoying towards the backhand side. You can see him trying to make his way towards Sinclair, because I think transition towards the very right, and Hurug can already see where the bullets are coming from, or the orbs are coming from, and he most likely wants to turn and make that direction.
Pulse Bomb will connect, but only onto the payload here. There's the blade now, D-Mech the kill, but it's going to be a 2-man Pulse Bomb once again. Bacon Jack is the man that's putting the rest of Flash Wolves on his back, forcing back the members of GC Busan. 4 minutes and 20 seconds still, plenty of time for this Korean squad.
Flash Wolves with 3 ultimates up. They committed a lot in that last fight, like the 2 DPS ultimates. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to deal, I guess, with Hurug here, unless Zonda can hit a nice flashbang. But with the chance of the Valkyrie, they're looking to, again, maintain these ultimates and not have to use them in this fight. But it's going to be very hard to pick anyone off when you have a Hog to contend with, and you also have the Soldier pick up still for Gesture.
Yeah, they got the D-Mech onto K-Momo. Here is a self-destruct. It connects. K-Momo has fallen. His Gesture presses forward with that tactical visor. Tries to take down the Mercy, but he's getting batted around by Jongi here, keeping her safe. But there, He answered back. Now Flash Wolves forcing back the offense once again. Prophet will be the final member to go down.
Really well done by Jongi there, actually, to just bat him away so there's no chance to kill their own Mercy. So Rimit was able to survive. Big Jack's still very far pushed up, and Rimit's going to have to back off. But no, that was just really well done, and showing why Jongi was voted like one of the best Winstons in OPC in the tournament. But Big Jack with another pulse bomb. We got a double kill in one of the previous fights, looking for another opportunity. And look at the ultimates just stacking up the Flash Wolves now. Keep an eye on that last fight, they didn't have any offensive ultimates. They didn't have the Deadeye, they didn't have the pulse bomb.
Bacon Jack, we've seen how he can turn the tides of battle with this pulse bomb. No one's pushing the payload right now as they go for the engagement. Realman forced to use that res onto Singular first. He doesn't have a Valkyrie. There's a window of opportunity, about 25 seconds left, where they're not gonna have a res. K-Momo, his mech is gone now. He's gonna use that self-destruct to get it back. Pulse bomb comes out. Bacon Jack connects once again onto Closer, but now they're still battling back on the side of GC Busan. They will clean this up.
I'm expecting someone to go back to help Closer get back to the front line here, so you can just jump back in. They got 2.5 minutes left. They've got a Transcendence, and they're gonna have a Visor, most importantly, out of Prophet. So again, create space for him. Zondo with the Deadeye is gonna be a big factor, but Bacon Jack's trying to camp them towards spawn. And the supports are just sticking together. It looks like no one's rotated around to help them out.
Bacon Jack has to be careful. The Orb of Discord is on him. He does have the mini to get him back up to full health here. The Deadeye comes out, but it looks like it might have gotten eaten up by that defense matrix. Prophet, who was just in the middle of no man's land, somehow survives that. Hurek into the back line. Zonda down first. Realman does have that res. He's even got the Valkyrie if he wants to commit that into it. Looks like he can't get to the body quite yet. There we go. He gets in. K-Momo about to get D-Mexed. It's Bacon Jack to fall on the side of GC Busan. Rumen with the secondary res, but no one's died on the side of GC Busan.
Yeah, this one's just trying to stay alive. Jongi, though, very low HP. He just gets his promo rage up at the perfect time, and he's batting away at Prophet, but he needs to get back to the payload because there's only one man contesting it, and there's 3 men pushing it, and Prophet coming back through, getting a triple kill. Will help close this out with more than 1 minute of time left remaining, 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. GC Busan, I mean, they had a ton of time to push third final, and they struggled quite a bit off the back of Bacon Jack having some really good flanking plays.
We saw that also on Numbani. He just connects with those pulse bombs. It looks like, I think most of the pulse bomb kills have come down onto the Mercy. So he's got that one track mind. He needs to take the Mercy out of the equation first. But ultimately, there's just so much raw fragging power on the side of GC Busan.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's inconsequential.
Well,
even if you get these 2-man picks.
Again, we talk about, you know, Runaway yesterday, how they have so many of their players who can play so many different roles. You have Afrika Freaks here as well, who can do the same thing with Jin, who's mainly a DPS player, and Taidala, who's been a DPS player in the past. And I look at Flash Wolves, and I don't know if Jongi can play other heroes. Maybe I'm just like mistaken.
They haven't shown anything other than that.
Yeah, they haven't like tried to really show anything in terms of like flexibility between like their tanks and DPS. There's been no cheeky triple DPSs out of them. They've been sticking to their 2-2-2 for the longest time, for an entire season of OPC. And I think that flexibility is something that you have to value within a team.
So now GC Busan did get the map completion. They set themselves up with a great win condition and are sitting poised to take map number 3 and sit on match point. Remember, this is a best of 7, so the first to 4 wins out here. Now on the defense, it is going to be GC Busan, and they're not really changing much up. They're not going to try that Torbjorn Orisa at all. They've got Hagopun once again on the Ana, which they do love to play defensively, and then Closer once again on the Mercy.
Yeah, good luck, Zonda. Stay safe here.
Yeah.
With Hurek's Soldier, with Prophet's anti-air ability, and Hagopun, as you mentioned, on the Ana. That's going to be really tough to handle, and they're going to spot the Ana in just a few seconds too and realize this. And Zonda's going to have to respect it. Already did a chunk of damage to Hurek there. And he's actually really far pushed up with like no tanks in sight. This is so risky.
But he is able to force them back with that concussive blast there.
Blast.
Yeah. Zonda getting some free damage off. He's already at 50% towards his ultimate. First in line for an ultimate, but there it is. The dive comes out, Singular goes down. Realman instantly forced to res here.
That was really well done by Zonda, because he splits Hagopun off the high ground, so Hurek has to drop it. Everyone else in the team has to drop down to stay alive. They've been completely and heavily split up by Jongi, pulling a little bit of a gesture, what we saw on Watchpoint Gibraltar. And Arrow has been desuited as K-Momo's the one that picked it up, but Hurek on the long flank.
Yeah, Now, shots coming on out. We do have the res. That's a nano, but Winston coming out there. They're going to kill onto Realman. Both supports down on the side of the offense, and that's going to force them back.
Surprised GC Busan to be able to hold this. Like, considering how the fight initially went with them getting thrown on the low ground, they just kind of regroup back up, and they know how to play that position. They've probably been in that position many times before. It's the experience really start to show. Zonda now with the barrage up, though. And they're going to have their own Valkyrie, where GC Busan are not going to have any support ultimates to respawn with. So ideally, Prophet is looking to kill Realman.
It's their understanding of how much they can give up. They give some ground. They give up the tick. But they come back with better positioning, with better fights. That's the patience that comes out from them. Hurek dropped down to 16 HP, playing line of sight over here behind the pillar, but now he's still taking so much damage coming out from Zonda.
I think Prophet's just looking for an engagement here. Realman has used the Valkyrie. He gets dropped immediately. Aerial gets the kill. That is such a massive play out of this man.
That is huge. We're seeing why Aerial has been swapped in for Uyal. The self-destruct is even going to be used.
It just stopped the attack, like completely, that one kill. It slowed it down so well.
Now, Flash Wolves looking completely desynced there. The barrage was committed just to get the kill onto Hurek, and he gets rezzed up by Closer. Hurek now does use that tactical visor, but is forced out of position. Now goes onto low ground, forcing the recall out from Bacon Jack, but here's Prophet. He pushes forward. He's got that nano blade. Finds one kill. Will he be able to get much else off this? No, but he's done enough damage for the rest of GC Busan to clean up.
Oh, Bacon Jack's looking for the kill on the Closer, but Agapon again landing the sleep dart. And more importantly, he kept Closer alive with the healing. Not easy to do against someone as mobile as Mercy can be.
Yeah.
And with now only a minute left to go here, Flash Wolves, they're looking for an answer. They're looking for some sort of response as they have switched Zonda over to Soldier.
Yeah, you mentioned it. That pick onto Realman was so huge. Popping that Valkyrie and then instantly going down. That was 2 reses that you had in your pocket. Now you're back down to 1.
Not to mention like the AoE healing. When GC Busan is so good at like kind of spreading their damage across the team at the right moments. Hagapun, I haven't really seen a lot of biogrades out of him necessarily on the enemy team, but also hasn't really needed to.
Well, they're dying so quickly.
Exactly.
On the side of Flash Wolves, being forced back once again as Gesture, trying to contest this high ground with his buddy Aerial. They do have that self-destruct while someone was applying a bit of pressure.
Wow.
But man, Gesture instantly into the back line, takes out Sinclair and Zonda, falls for his efforts, but he's done it. He's forced them back. It's going to come down to one last attack for Flash Wolves.
They knew Zonda was trying to get set up on the high ground, so a Bio Grenade comes in as Gesture lands, and they just explode not only Sinclair but Zonda together. K-Momo is going to have a self-destruct. One of the few ultimates that are available, and Bacon Jack's going to lose against Prophet. And now they're going to have to fight a man down. There's no chance for the res. They're going to have to come in, but luckily for them, Realman will have his Valkyrie.
Does have the Valkyrie there, but it's still a 6v5 right now. We're getting a mad dash for the point. We have the Valkyrie getting popped by Realman instantly. We see the focus coming on down. Self-destruct will come out. It's going to be Realman now with the double res, bringing them back into this, but it's still a 6v5. They find another kill, and it's just Flash Wolves falling to the wayside here as GC Busan. No one's on the point. They will put a full hold. And now they're sitting on match point up against Flash Wolves.
Flash Wolves, I mean, showing some signs of some bigger problems with the team in terms of flexibility. We did see Zonda switch to Genji last second there, which wouldn't have been too bad, considering, you know, Hagapun, he doesn't really have a lot of escape. Obviously, he's going to have his own Bio Grenade and a Sleep Dart, but it's a little bit tough to survive against like a well-executed dive, the position that he was holding. And like you pointed out, GC Busan, with the initial retreat they had to pull, giving up that first take on the point, and then re-engaging once they have like figured out what they needed to do, was so well done. A lot of other teams will kind of struggle that position and collapse on themselves.
No, that was a level of level-headedness that like you don't see.
Another
level. GC Busan, they're proving why they're the Apex champions. Very few mistakes coming out from them. Really, even if there was a mistake, they learned how to just bounce back from it.
Yeah.
They didn't let it compound into more and more mistakes. They didn't bleed out that like we see coming out from a lot of other teams. But we'll see if the reverse sweep can happen for Flash Wolves or if GC Busan closes out 4-0 after this break.
Being young is about being fearless and facing challenges. Use your youth to challenge the world, move forward, and break limits. Just like iGame. Dare to think and try is what youth is about. iGame's evolutionary products immerses the brand with vitality, providing the world with youthful colors. Reveal the secrets of youth. Join us and challenge the world.
我们是希望，
我们是荣耀，
我们是勇气，
我们是正义，
我们是怜悯，我们是决心，
我们是和谐，
我们是守望先锋。
And our MVP for map number 3 between GC Busan and Flash Wolves, it's gonna be Hureg. I mean,
I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves a lot of the time. Everyone talks about Profit, oh my god, 2.39 KD in Apex. This man is so flexible for the team, from like hit scan to projectile to Widow to Doomfist. He can do basically anything, and he's so damn consistent at what he's doing. He's not maybe super flashy all the time, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, generally it's a Prophet that gets to come up with those big plays, but it's the staple in Hureg there, consistently laying down damage for his team. It allows Prophet to shine as much as he does, right? And the thing is, anyone on this team can pop off. We've seen Gesture coming in time and time again. Ariel. Hagopun also, yeah.
Jeez, Zen, I would not ever want to go up against that.
His Ana, those sleep darts, connecting onto a Tracer, that's... Well, she was like barreling straight towards him. It was a pretty easy shot, but
still a Tracer. It's still Bacon Jack on Tracer, right?
Bacon Jack on Tracer.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you only hit a sleep dart on a Tracer went straight for you, but like, wasn't that Tracer sure for? Like, yeah. But no, they're looking good. They're looking very good, and they're looking like their team who's kind of understanding really well and have adapted really quickly. Again, I can't undersell the way Gesture's been playing the Winston and how he's been dealing with the damage that's always coming his way with the D.Va changes. He's playing this one perfectly. And Flash Wolves are the ones who just are not adapting.
You have no one able to really find their footing. Bacon Jack possibly the closest, but we're not seeing him have that impact that he normally does in these matches. You know, he's able to usually come in and like one clip a support, and of course his pulse bombs come in time and time again, but they haven't been there as frequently as they need.
I think part of that's due to, well, it's hard to kill the back line of a team as experienced as GC Busan now.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you get a solo post bomb kill, okay, well, it gets rezzed. Like, the importance and the impact a post bomb could have has, like, across the board been quote-unquote nerfed. It's been changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you hit, like, a double kill, that's big, right? That's massive. But you don't really get those that often anymore because of how spread out teams do stand and how much safer they're playing, especially without a Lucio.
So now we're going to be moving on to map number 4, quite possibly the final map in this quarterfinal match between GC Busan and Flash Wolves. Flash Wolves yet to get a victory here in this series. It might get closed out as we move on. It's map number 4, and it's going to be Assault. It's going to be Horizon.
And really quickly, while we do have this second, we still have another match going today.
Yeah.
Another best of 7. We get to see China, one of their last hopes, 1-2-4-6, up against a very dominating and a team looking for revenge, especially one player in particular, Arhan, with Afrika Freaks. That's the second time here at APAC. For Horizon Lunar Colony, we've again seen some interesting things across the group stages, across yesterday. I don't necessarily know like what kind of style GC Busan wants to run with this. I'm more familiar with like the Chinese teams running more Death Volley. But again, they can run anything, so you can't really put anything past them. We could see Widow out of Hureg.
This is definitely a map where you can run the Tracer Genji. You can run the Tracer 76. It's yet to really be fleshed out what like the optimal setup is. I think a lot of teams just are still being able to play like towards their strengths on this map.
Well, here we go, kicking things off on the attacking side. I'm used to Widowmaker, so I want to assume that's going to be GC Busan. And Gesture's the one going to be using it this time.
Okay.
This guy, he's like, I don't want to play Winston, guys. Just let me play DPS. Ooh. Well, he's earned it because he's done some serious work, but we're already seeing the Torbrissa out of Flash Wolves.
There it is. Sinclair connects.
And
then, the res.
And the closer's like, this is why you don't play DPS. This is why you don't Widow. You die.
Now, it sounds like we've got some blinkers coming out from GC Busan. Sinclair very worried about it here. And there it is. Prophet starts it off. Zonda has gone down. Realman does have his res, but where is Realman? Sinclair has now gone down. Zonda is brought back in, but they're not going to be able to get the Zenyatta back into the fight. As Prophet finds another kill, Zonda instantly goes down.
And Realman, he needs an armor pack because there's no one that can heal him here. Sinclair has respawned back in, but just as I talk about the man, Realman has fallen, and Hureg, there's nothing stopping him from doing so much damage across the board for Flash Wolves. And they will crumble, they will lose this first point, and they will switch around some compositions here, as now Zonda has gone to the Soldier, and Zhongyi ideally should be going over to Winston.
That's one of the issues when you try to regroup your forces onto the point. Here on point A of Horizon, there are so many openings that a dive team can actually just pick you apart from. Now, Sinclair's going to swap off on the defense here. He's going to pick up that Ana, but he's going to have to deal with the blade that's going to come out from Prophet.
And triple DPS is so deadly against Orisa. Like, because Orisa, you're not going to charge in, you're not going to dive, you're not going to attack them when they don't have the HP to fight you. You just have to sit there and kind of take it, and you have to win with the other team. So really well done by GC Busan. And Gesture opens things up on his Zonda, forcing the res immediately here. And the Pulsum has come in for a D-suit.
Oh, Hureg already taking out K-Momo as Bacon Jack finally answers back, but they've got the res, and there is the blade right on top of that Ana. They are able to safely make it into the spawn, but already they've given up 2 ticks here, and they have to contest with almost no members alive. Now, they will be able to make it onto the point, but take a look instantly. They go straight for that Mercy as Zonda, who swapped off onto the Doomfist, is picking up a double kill. This might have allowed them to stabilize as Closure does come in for that res.
Hogman's going to use his Transcendence. It's going to be very hard for them to finish off this take, they lost quite a few people. The reses aren't going to be there. It looks like GC Busan will ideally back away from this one. The area is still fighting. He gets a kill to Zhongyi. He's still somehow alive. He gets DMAC'd here, but the self-destruction to kill K-Momo, who has no chance to run away. The triple kill has come in, and Hureg gets the post bomb stick onto Realman.
Bacon Jack is the only one left here as the Winston now comes on in, but Zhongyi was instantly discorded and then deleted. And somehow GC Busan fight back into this off a huge self-destruct coming out from Ariel.
I wish the new features were here.
Yeah, I want to see that again.
But I want to see the observers click that and show us the re-kill of how that happened. But the timings of the self-destruct was so sick because they got both D-suit at the same time, and there's no way to position if you're K-Momo, you're going to run away from the self-destruct out of Ariel. Perfect execution out of them. And considering they did lose like 1 or 2 people, and they didn't have the rest for it, they still fought back with the ultimates they had. And Flash Wolves have no response. They switched to Reaper.
Yeah.
They switched a couple of things around, but it was a little bit too late. And now Flash Wolves have a massive time bank to compete with.
And I again, we're going good. We have to go back to just GC Busan. Their calmness, their ability to step back and know their win conditions. They knew they were at 95%. If they use the self-destruct, it could possibly force the members of Flash Wolves to back off on the point and then give them that extra little boost that they need to complete out the map. Ultimately, it got a triple kill, and they were able to win off that anyhow. So great, consideration coming out from GC Busan.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, the reason that triple kill happened was because GC Busan feinted. They faked a retreat and then came back in, and Flash Wolves were too far overextended, and then maybe there was a breakdown in communication of who was going to stay on the point and like, kind of eat that self-destruct to make sure it wasn't capped over.
It's just incredible how methodical that GC Busan are.
Well, I even thought they were retreating.
Yeah.
They were backing away. It's like, all right, well, you lost like at least one person. I didn't see if the second one got rezzed or he had to go back into spawn. And then they just turn around, full complete 180, 360 in the end, I guess, and finish that. Really well done by them.
Torbjorn Narisa now coming out for GC Busan. Hagapun. Let's see what he can do with it. I mean, we've had no shortage of Torbjorns so far this week. But it's going to be Zonda on the side of Flash Wolves playing this Widowmaker here. See if he has any effect on the match. There is that shield they have to contest with.
You're not going to break that shield. This is very similar to Junkertown now with Hurek, who's just sitting behind the shield, and Zonda trying to compete with that while he's on quote-unquote attack for Junkertown. And it's not going to work. You're not going to compete with this. You're going to have to back away. You have to change your avenue of attack, and they have at least gone in through the low-hand side to push into this defense.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is like, all right, let me change where the shield's focusing.
Neither Widowmaker really able to find anything quite yet. They have broken line of sight on the side of Flash Wolves here, applying a little bit of pressure onto the point, forcing Hurek to come back. A few members of GC Busan to fall back, and Sinclair, that's going to allow them to get the kill onto that. But there it is, Hurek, calm under pressure, takes the first battle up against Zonda and takes him out, as Bacon Jack does answer back as Hagapun falls.
The thing is, that kill's so massive too, because with Zonda dead, that means they don't need to keep the shield in the front. They can kind of rotate it around this left-hand side to protect the oncoming push out of Flash Wolves, and it makes it easy for the rest of GC Busan just to kind of survive in general. And Zonda has switched over to Soldier too once they've been able to dislodge him for the high ground, but Bacon Jack, not sure what he's looking for though.
Yeah, he was waiting for Hagapun to come back on the run back, but there it is. Sinclair starts it off. Hurek has gone down, forcing out the res from Closer. Closer actually coming in, Valkyrie into it. Once again, it's Bacon Jack coming in with that pulse bomb, taking out Hagapun. He gets the secondary res, but Jangi is there with the hook, with the kill, and with that, Flash Wolves broke the defense and then move on to point B.
Something so nice about seeing Torbjorn hooked in and then just blown away. I don't know about you.
Die twice.
Just
in a row.
I mean, it's almost as satisfying as seeing May die.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's still got the molten core, and he's still sticking to Torbjorn, so it looks like he wants to commit to this push. And they have to kind of be careful, right? Flash Wolves took the point. They could have an abundance of ultimates to use, so they're being kind of respectful of that. I would assume after molten core, he will switch off.
Hurek is now swapped off onto the Tracer here, as Zonda himself, for the run back, he has swapped off onto Soldier 76. The attack comes out from the defense here. Prophet trying his best to farm up this blade as the tactical visor comes out from Zonda. Zonda's on the hunt. Hurek is able to make it out to safety here. Realman forced to use that resurrection. Finally, a kill goes over for the Flash Wolves. It's Prophet who falls, and there's going to be the multi-core out now for Hagapun.
Again, Zonda gets the kill onto the recent aerial. K-Momo's going to fall. Hagpun's able to get the kill, and I think they've been able to stall long enough, though. They're looking maybe for a res on the K-Momo because they committed the Transcendence out of Sinclair. The progress really isn't there so far, but they're slowly inching their way forward. Flash Wolves are cleaning up all these kills, and GC Busan are running out of men.
But Aerial was able to go in and focus down Sinclair, forcing out the res. Now one tick going on over for the side of Flash Wolves. There's the second, but GC Busan, they're going to bide their time. Great focus fire as Hurek tries to come in to contest the point, and now they are forced to stagger one by one the blade out from Prophet, but he will ultimately fall here as Zonda now working his way towards another tactical visor here to close out and set it into extra rounds.
They're just trying to stall GC Busan for as long as they possibly can. Zonda, last visor's not going to be needed. They're going to finish still with more time than they had to attack on the first half. Well done by them to kind of pull it back. I mean, they're down, what, 0-3 in the series?
Yep.
There's a lot of pressure on them, and they still pulled off a very strong attack.
interesting thing there was that we've seen how strong Soldier 76 is on offense and on defense. And I really want to see Hureg actually use that. Instead, he went for that Tracer. He didn't have the extended long range to try and deal with someone like Zonda on the point B defense.
Well, I mean, they did a good job of juggling the attack visor initially, but Prophet got felled. He got killed on top of the little truck there. So they almost actually completely made that ultimate out of Zonda useless.
Yeah.
That one kill was enough to start to snowball. And then Zonda, like you said, like distance he was able to create by himself to kind of sit very far back. Didn't have like high ground position like you normally see on Horizon or Colony, but he still had the positioning he needed to make it difficult for GC Busan to ever push back through the tank line that Flash Wolves had available to them on the point.
So now extra innings here on Horizon. It is going to be Flash Wolves once again on the offense. They're not going to open this up with the Widowmaker. Neither side actually going for that. No cheese now, as we're just playing standard from both. Hagopun going to start it off now this time because he's not on the Torbjorn. He's going to be on the Ana.
Okay. So maybe looking for a Nano Visor. Maybe looking to transition the Nano into second point if they do lose on the first take. I think though they're, I don't know, they kind of like read into like the lack of an Ana on the side of Flash Wolves. I was a little bit surprised.
That was a great execution coming out from them. I'm surprised that somehow Closer survived that. So the res, Hagopun is brought back into this. They had the opportunity on the side of Flash Wolves to actually take out Closer first.
Sorry, I meant Widow about Flash Wolves. I'm kind of surprised to see GC Busan not expecting to see the Widowmaker with the composition they've had. And they have been able to split GC Busan up here with the initial kill on a Hagopun and turn that into a kill onto Gesture. I think they should be able to take this point off this. They already have but 2/3 of the progress, 90% built up. GC Busan looking mortal.
Looking mortal, but also it looks like there's a fire that's just reinvigorated Flash Wolves here. They're delaying out Aerial for as long as they can. He's gonna get the mech back, but he's just gonna get staggered even longer. I mean, luckily, you know, they're chasing so far back. They're chasing so far back that he'll be able to respawn with the mech back at spawn.
I don't know why they just didn't leave him demeched or even remeched and just pushed. I mean, obviously you would have demeched him again then pushed, but I don't know, that was really weird. Big Jack to kill into Prophet the one-on-one. And Gesture's looking to push it with the Nano. But the Transcendence is going to be there. Big Jack gets another 2 kills.
Bacon Jack coming up for his team, and this is the man we were talking about. He's able to put the carry pants on now as Gesture is forced back. They've already secured 1 tick here, and it's all the kills going over for the Flash Wolves. GC Busan, they've misstepped, and now they're getting punished for it.
2/3 of the progress now done, 76%. Again, Zon is able to come up big with some huge kills towards the end of this half. K-Mo was going to get the kill onto Closer. They just don't have the people. They don't have the men on the point. They don't have the HP either here, Jamerson.
They don't. They are losing members left and right. A self-destruct. Can Aerial connect with a huge one? No. It gets eaten up by the shield of the Winston. Prophet trying to keep this alive, but still there's the res coming up from Realment now, and they're just staggering, trying to buy as much time. Great pulse bomb coming out from Bacon Jack, but it doesn't even matter because Flash Wolves, they'll count it out with another 2 minutes and 54 seconds left.
Oh man, I can't remember. It was Tavik's team, way back in the day on Volskaya, that they went, after the changes were made, they went to like 8-7 scoreline against a team. I can't remember off the top of my head who it is. But there was a match like way back in Europe that happened, that you had this ridiculous scoreline. You had like back-to-back, it was Creation Esports I think they were playing against.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
Where they played on Volskaya, they played like a couple of Assault maps there. And they went to like 8-7 scoreline, something ridiculous. And we're on track to do that. I mean, they finished with 3 minutes left on the board 2 times through Horizon and Colony. And now GC Busan have 5.5 minutes to do it for their second time.
It's a little bit worrying there.
Yeah,
I honestly thought with Aerial falling, the way that he got himself staggered, he ran back beyond the point B spawn, that would have bought them enough time for him to get the respawn, but it was Bacon Jack. He just came alive. He won the 1v1 versus Hureg, and then he proceeded to just pick apart everybody by himself.
Maybe he was tired of us not talking about him enough.
Yeah.
We're talking about him highly enough. Definitely came up big there, and that's the power of Bacon Jack. Very consistent player, but he can have those extremely big, explosive moments. And now GC Busan going back to their standard kind of dive here, not running the Widowmaker this time for Gesture. Maybe a gentleman's agreement between the 2 teams. But now the pressure's on them. One of the first times in this series that GC Busan have been on the back foot.
5 minutes and 20 seconds still left to work with, though. So their original push only took 2.5. Now the high ground is being contested. Zonda, the Orb of Discord on him. He's able to fall back and get healed back on up. But Ariel might get punished here. He's going to get demeched now as K-Momo is going to receive the credit for that. Zonda on the point here, just trying to pick apart the members of GC Busan who are spread across all across this map.
Zonda's so good with Helix Rockets. He hits them so many times. Ariel, he's still actually looking for a remake, and he's about to have it too, so the decent they did get doesn't net them anything. No. The res Muse on a K-Momo, and it looks like there's not going to be the follow-up to kill him before he gets back in his own suit, so pretty much a hard reset now here for both teams.
Yeah, there was a moment there for Flash Wolves. They could have just pounced upon them, and now that leaves the opening for GC Busan. Realment falls. Jongi only able to answer back with one. There is a res, but it's a large man advantage now coming out from GC Busan on the offense.
Yeah, Prophet did his job. He got the kill onto Realment. He prevented that Valkyrie from being used with the double res. That was what they needed. That was really perfectly well timed. And look at this. Closer's not healing Ariel until his Valkyrie's over, so he can go back to building 0%. Very smart play. Like these small little minuscule things can be huge. Let's see how much percent he gets off of this too. He's gonna be like 15-20%. Yeah, just from waiting.
A little bit too much respect coming out from the Flash Wolves there. They could have gone in. They just need to be a little bit more bloodthirsty. Allow Zonda along with Bacon Jack to open up and get more of these kills. But
well, they didn't want to kill him because then the res was going to be there and he was going to maybe remech, so they would have to stayed out longer than maybe they wanted to. But I agree, they should have finished off that kill because buying the Ariel the time they gave him to remech to punish them was too much.
Now GC Busan moving on to the point. Hagapun starts it off. Bacon Jack has fallen. Realment does have that Valkyrie. He does have that double res, but no one's on the point quite yet. It is going to get contested here, so they're going to buy the time for the next resurrection. Transcendence is committed by Hagapun here. And it's going to be Gesture who gets healed back up. He's going to get res. Zonda now focused down, tickled down by that. It's the Blade coming out now from the side of GC Busan. Double res. Fight back into this. They have given up a tick.
Hagapun's going to get res too. The Transcendence was used out of sync. He's going to be finished off immediately here. Prop with the Blade, not accomplishing a ton, but he's still alive. He's still doing some serious work. And Hooray gets the better of Bacon Jack right off the back of Spawn. Flash Wolves, now they have to look ahead. Can we just stall for as long as possible because they're down so many men. They're not picking up any frags here. The ultimates are just not there. Sinclair even switching to Reaper Jamerson to try to contest.
No one's going to make it on the point, actually, so...
Oh my gosh, are we going to have like an 8-point map here?
254 to the 314.
Do you think, so there's two cases, do you think both teams are just that bad at defending, or are both teams just that good at attacking right now on this map?
I think the coordination coming out from both teams are looking absolutely solid, that it just completely neutralizes the defense. We saw, like I said, there's a reinvigoration on the side of Flash Wolves. They are looking better. They are looking ready to fight, and they have to. They have to fight for their tournament lives. They're down 0-3 up against GC Busan right now, but their dive has looked a lot cleaner, the cleanest it has across 4 maps so far.
Well, we're moving into the next attacking half for them. So the attacking...
Extra innings.
Yeah, extra innings. I'm trying to think. It's the third attacking half. I don't think I've said that.
Third.
Yeah, I don't think I've said that like ever in my 2 years of casting Overwatch now. It's their third attack.
I don't want to call it like, I don't want to call it like the third quarter, because then I'm just setting myself up for the fourth quarter, right? Like,
and then overtime right after that. Well, we're gonna see if Flash Wolves can do it again in quick pace. Obviously, they have a decent amount of time to work with, and they haven't needed the full extent of this, 3 minutes to capture the first point. So realistically, from what we've seen, they're going to get a 5th point on the board, and it's just about closing it out on the 6th.
This time they just want to play a little bit safer, so it's going to be Hagapun on the Zenyatta. He's probably going to hold a little bit further back here, not leaving himself as exposed as he did before, but it's already a Soldier 76 coming out from both sides here. As they go for this long-range poke, we'll see who engages first.
Zana's getting some real good damage in. 30% on his ultimate, Hurag's at 20. And now they're going to dive across the way. The rest of the team can't get there necessarily. And actually, Flash Wolves still going high ground. They're going to go low ground, which is a very disadvantageous position.
Yeah.
You know all about that if you're Anakin Skywalker.
Already got a kill. There's a second one going down. The res was brought back. Zonda, but it's a 6v5 now in favor of GC Busan as they're cleaning up the members of Flash Wolves.
Yeah, Yeah, so I don't know. That was, I feel like they could have maybe kept, no.
There was a lot of
maybe
indecision.
battling that out, but
yeah.
I think high ground would always be the better choice. It's always better to fight on equal footing than to give them a high ground position. You have to fight from low ground. Maybe they're expecting that to like trip them up. Maybe they, you know, hoped that GC Busan thought they were going high ground and they're able to get some sort of initial kill. But Zon, look how far he's pushed up. Again, I feel like there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders because he's playing as if he needs to like be the playmaker for his team.
Pulsebomb got eaten up there, Prophet telegraphing that from 2 kilometers away now, but still the dive is there. GC Busan able to clean up the members of Flash Wolves. 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock for their third attack here.
Yeah, most importantly, GC Busan are engaging when they want to. They're not giving up ground. They're not giving up the point, basically. They're not allowing Flash Wolves to set up. So every time they do try to come in, so them jumping across onto high ground or dropping straight down below, directly on top of them, they're not letting Flash Wolves get comfortable at all and not get a position to be ready to attack the point.
This is terrifying. There's a minute left for them, and there's so many ultimates online now for GC Busan. While they're only working their way up towards a self-destruct, they've got the tactical visor, the Valkyrie here. Valkyrie instantly going to be used by GC Busan as Hurai getting focused down. He will survive for now, but they will get the DMX self-destruct coming out from K-Momo. Get himself back into this fight, but take a look instantly.
Wow.
They change targets. Jongi gets bursted down.
Really well done by Ariel, too. Just a single bullet there. The Red's going to come back in. He's looking for the Mercy. He's looking to take out Realman. And Realman has more pressure on him with attack price being used out of Hurek, who's just not able to fully connect, finally finishing him off. And the pressure's coming back in his direction as Zon is able to chime in with a kill on his counterpart.
Thing is, Closer is still alive. Realman isn't. They've got the res if they want to bring Hurek back into this now. There's 10 seconds left. Pulse Bomb comes out. Bacon Jack trying to put his team on his back, but they are losing all the members on the side of Flash Wolves. Now it's a 6v4, and someone is contesting the point. It's going to be K-Momo who falls. Need to get someone on here, and they need to get someone on there now, but no, they won't. They'll finally get stopped. Someone able to put up a defense here on point A.
It's not Flash Wolves, but the best they can hope for is a draw.
Yep.
Oh, man. Imagine we go to a draw now. Go to, like, Temple of Anubis and go through 3 attacking halves there. Yeah, a third of the point, though, is all GC Busan need. And with the time they had, 3 minutes and 14 seconds, that means, hey, we can run Widowmaker, we can run like a Zarya or a Hanzo together, like we can run a composition to just close out the point.
Yeah.
Which makes it even harder if you're a defending team here. That's why I always say attacking first is kind of rough, because then you know what you have to defend against, and it can be such a detriment for you, you know, in the mentality-wise of your team. By the way, that floor on the stage was so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Everything like lights up on that stage.
The opening sequence that we had was just amazing to watch.
Yeah. Hashtag production value.
Everything's bigger here in China. That's actually the new slogan for China. No, seriously though, Shanghai, the skyline, it's been amazing to just drive past every day coming into the studio.
See a new building every time.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it was built overnight, which, to be fair, a lot of these buildings are built really quickly, but because you notice and you see there's so many every time you drive by over to the venue. But Jamerson, here we go. The last attacking half here for GC Busan. All they need is a third to get through the semifinals.
Flash Wolves really in a tough spot here in the bind as Gesture. He's going to pull out the third DPS. He is now on that Widowmaker once again. The way we started this map off, he spots out Sinclair, connects with the second shot, forcing out the res. That is huge. Now we have Flash Wolves falling back here. That's going to allow GC Busan to inch further, closer and closer to the point now. They just need to spot it out. One target to jump on, and then from there, just snowball off of that.
And you can see trying to respect the sidelines that Gesture does have. K-Momo sitting far back at the point. They're giving up a lot of ground, but they're only coming in and contest when they need to. They're not sitting there taking a lot of free damage. And GC Busan gonna touch the point. Again, it's gonna pull someone out. Zonda, the one leading the charge for his team, and with Prophet having 80% on his blade, if he gets this off in the midst of this point, with how good they are, you can say goodbye.
He gets it with the deflect, and there it is. The first member to go down is gonna be Zonda. 3 members, 4 members. K-Momo only answering back, taking out Hagapun, and there it is. GC Busan take a convincing 4-0 victory up against Flash Wolves and move on to our other semifinal match with their opponents. They'll be awaiting. Will it be 1-2-4-6 or Freak of Freaks?
Well, we're gonna find out closer. I think it's the first Mercy play of the game I've seen.
1 res, 2 res,
3 res, 4.
3 res more. Well, no, you only get the 2 reses now. But Closer, he's doing a great job keeping himself safe. Initially, he looked a little uncomfortable. There were moments where he was going in for very questionable reses where it put him into a tight spot and would ultimately fall. But it looked like he learned throughout this series how to play the Mercy better.
Do you think that GC Busan looks better than Runaway today? Keep in mind, obviously different opponents. MVP Space seem to be a better team in general compared to Flash Wolves, have a lot more flexibility, and Auto was crazy on the Genji. But what do you think? Do you think they're evenly matched, or do you think GC Busan really showed they've adapted quicker?
I don't think there was much on the side of Flash Wolves that really challenged GC Busan, so you can't make that call quite yet. In the other match, in the Runaway versus MVP Space match, we had Otto going off on that Genji, actually challenging Hoxall time and time again. But we didn't have that same thing here happening in this match. Maybe Bacon Jack, but beyond that, it looked like Flash Wolves were just dead in the water, is honestly the best way I could put it.
Definitely not the alpha of this pack.
No.
As GC Busan did clearly take that victory, but yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to tell if GC Busan played better than Runaway, but there were some signs to me that kind of like stood out. Like, yeah, they've kind of adapted a little bit quicker. Like, for instance, Gesture. The scrutiny and pressure a Winston is under is very difficult with the D.Va damage that you can do, and with the mitigation that you can no longer provide as that hero.
Yeah.
I think he learned really quickly, like in this entire series, of how to play the Winston a lot better. And of course, Prof and Hureg. I mean,